What is it that you wanted to what is it that you wanted to finish off? You had already spent your 9 years as the president of the country. What more do you think you can offer to these people of this country? There is absolutely nothing that you can offer to these people of this country. Nothing. Without identity politics and racial politics, there is nothing that Jacob Zuma can offer to us. After all, this is what he has been feeding South Africans for the past 9 years of his presidency.
The 360 experience with Thomas M.
You see this relationship between the EFF and the former president Jacob Zuma. This relationship needs to be studied. To say this relationship is complicated, it's an understatement at this point. I mean, 1 minute, these people are in Kandla, they are drinking tea, they are taking pictures, they are kissing each other, they are rubbing each other's feet while wishing each other happy birthdays. Before you even know it, the knives are out, these people are fighting each other. You know, when they say that in politics there are no permanent friends or enemies, this is exactly what is happening between Jacob Zuma and the EFF. The best thing for you to do is not to get involved. It's not to get involved. Because these people, man, will fight each other today, and tomorrow these people will be kissing each other. Do not get involved. Me, guys, I am old enough to remember Julius Malema calling for Jacob Zuma to be arrested, calling for Jacob Zuma to be held accountable, calling for Jacob Zuma to be held accountable for everything that he has done with the Guptas. I'm old enough to remember the tweets from Mbuyiseni and Ndlozi saying that Jacob Zuma needs to be thrown to jail. Jacob Zuma needs to understand what the Constitutional Court is saying. Throw this man to jail. The administration of Ramaphosa did exactly that. Julius Malema was out and saying, no, we are calling for the release of Jacob Zuma. I mean, we don't want Jacob Zuma to be held accountable anymore. We don't want Jacob Zuma to be held accountable anymore. Leave Jacob Zuma alone. Jacob Zuma, he's old, he's 82 years. He just wants to spend time with his family. I mean, Julius Malema went as far as even inviting Jacob Zuma to come and join the EFF. Do you remember when Julius Malema actually said this about Jacob Zuma?
And we hope very soon we'll welcome Mr. President Zuma into the EFF. It's a home of rehabilitation. Anyone who wants to come, they're more than welcome. We are growing in numbers everywhere, and no one can ignore that fact, including here in the Western Cape.
So Julius Malema is quite smart, because Julius Malema understands the numbers. He understood that if Jacob Zuma can say that I am joining the EFF because the ANC has been doing me dirty, the EFF is going to have a lot of support. He understands that Jacob Zuma is quite popular in the country. I mean, I've been saying it before that, guys, whether you love Jacob Zuma or not, the man is popular in the country. So if Jacob Zuma advocates or if he endorses the EFF was bound to have a lot of support. But instead of doing that, Jacob Zuma went ahead and announced the political party that is going to run with on the 16th of December. That political party is Umkhonto weSizwe. So I think right now the EFF said, no, pull out the knives. Please remember that we hate Jacob Zuma. We wanted this man to endorse the EFF. We wanted to use Jacob Zuma and his influence to endorse the EFF and to help the EFF grow. And since Jacob Zuma will not do any of that, we are going to tell Jacob Zuma to sit at home. We are going to tell Jacob Zuma to sit with your grandchildren. We don't want you in this political arena. This is exactly what has been happening. The EFF basically wanted to use Jacob Zuma and his influence. They wanted to use Jacob Zuma and his influence, and Jacob Zuma was smart enough to see that, okay, these people basically, they do not love me. These are the same people who have actually called me to step down as the president of the country. You remember even Julius Malema said it, that if you want to punish the president, you must make sure that the president does not finish his term. If you make sure that the president does not finish his term, that is going to be the punishment for him until he dies. So I think that Jacob Zuma, still has a bit of crush towards Julius Malema and said, man, you were in the forefront telling people, to force me to step down as the president of the country, man. And I have not healed as the former president of the country because I wanted to finish my term. I started Umkhonto Wesizwe because, and I'm telling South Africans right now that I wanted to finish off what I started. You guys did not allow me to finish my term as the president of the country. You did not allow me to finish my term. So I still hate you, Julius. I still hate you, Julius, but I'm not going to show you. I'm not going to show you. I'm simply going to deal with the ANC. So when Jacob Zuma is busy squabbling with the ANC, Julius Malema saw it as an advantage for him and the EFF to get in there and say, Julius, Jacob Zuma, man, please come and join the EFF. Come and join the EFF. The EFF is the home of the rehabilitation. Come and join the EFF. Please endorse the EFF. I mean, for months, Julius Malema has been saying that Jacob Zuma must endorse the EFF because he understands how influential Jacob Zuma is. But I think the emergence of MK Party, it is the one that has actually made the EFF to say that, guys, let's recite to our factory settings. We hate Jacob Zuma and we don't want to campaign with Jacob Zuma because ever since MK has emerged, the EFF has been eating dust in the by-elections. The MK looks like it's been eating more from the EFF instead of the ANC because the ANC has not been performing the best, but it's up there. But you look at the EFF and the MK Party on the by-elections, and the MK Party is throwing the EFF around, is slapping the EFF around, and I think the EFF is starting to say, guys, these people are going to eat at our support on the national level, so we might as well go on attack. Mbuyiseni Ndlozi, please go out and tell Jacob Zuma to go back home. Please tell Jacob Zuma to go back home. It is so funny to see what is happening between the EFF man and the Jacob Zuma. It is so funny to see these people destroy each other. It is so fun. So this is what Mbuyiseni Ndlozi has basically been saying about Jacob Zuma.
You had your chance, Zuma, you had your chance. For 20 years, Zuma was in government as a deputy president, as an MEC, as a president of this country. What is Jacob Zuma going to do that he did not do when he was a president? Wena gogo, mauna 80, ngekuthola umsebenzi.
So basically, Mbuyiseni Ndlozi says that Jacob Zuma must go back home, go and rest, man. The EFF does not want to compete with Umkhonto Wesizwe. We can see what Umkhonto Wesizwe is doing to us on the by-elections, and we are not happy with the fact that you failed to endorse the EFF. You failed to endorse the EFF, man. You didn't even come and join the EFF. We called on you, we called on Thabo Mbeki, and we also called on Kgalema Motlanthe to come and join the EFF. But no, you did not join the EFF. We even said that we are in the talks with Ace Magashule, and Ace Magashule did not come and join the EFF. So the EFF, man, we are alone in this, and we hate all of you. We hate all of you. So I just think personally that the EFF needs to make peace with the fact that they failed to use Jacob Zuma. Jacob Zuma was smart enough to actually understand that, okay, these people are trying to use me and my influence. These people are trying to use me to put the EFF in a better position. So I'm going to start my own political party. I'm going to use my own influence with my own political party. And now the EFF says, man, we hate you right now. We hate you right now.
You had your chance, Zuma, you had your chance. For 20 years, Zuma was in government as a deputy president, as an MEC, as a president of this country. What is Jacob Zuma going to do that he did not do when he was a president? Wena gogo, mauna 80, ngekuthola umsebenzi.
But okay. Okay, I think Jacob Zuma was good enough to endorse the EFF, but he's not good enough to start his own political party. Because this is the sense that I'm getting from the EFF, that you were good enough to endorse us, you were good enough to come and join us, and since you decided not to do any of that, we no longer want you in our political arena. And the funny thing about all of these things is that I agree with Mbuyiseni Ndlozi. I completely agree with Mbuyiseni Ndlozi. There is nothing that Jacob Zuma can offer to South Africans at this point. There is nothing that you can offer to South Africans at this point. You are 82. There's nothing that you can offer to us, man. You look at how the other countries are moving. You look at the advancement that have been made by other countries. We don't need an 82-year-old president in this country, man. The world is moving so fast with technology. And these are the people that you never hear them say anything about technology. Jacob Zuma never says anything about technology. The only thing that Jacob Zuma talks about, he talks about the white monopoly capital. That is the only thing that Jacob Zuma talks about. The man was the president of the country for 9 years. And right now, this is what I say. I tend to say to people that, guys, just because Ramaphosa's administration or Ramaphosa's presidency is terrible, it doesn't mean that Jacob Zuma's presidency was roses and chocolates. No, Jacob Zuma's presidency was also worse. So Jacob Zuma and Cyril Ramaphosa, they are the same. There is nothing that these people can offer to us. You look at how fast the world is moving. Do you think that someone like Jacob Zuma can actually offer some South Africans anything different? You look at how young people are changing their lives throughout the world with technology. Do you think that these are the things that you can discuss with Jacob Zuma? Do you think that these are the things that you can discuss with Cyril Ramaphosa? There is nothing that Jacob Zuma can offer to South Africans. As much as I can laugh at the EFF right now for failing to use Jacob Zuma's influence. I can laugh at the EFF right now for Jacob Zuma being aware that, okay, these people are trying to use me. I can laugh at that, but I also agree with the EFF that there is nothing that Jacob Zuma can offer to this country at this point. There is absolutely nothing. There's absolutely nothing. The man was the president of the country for 9 years. So when Jacob Zuma says that I want to finish off what I started, what is it that you wanted to what is it that you wanted to finish off? You had already spent your 9 years as the president of the country. What more do you think you can offer to these people of this country? There is absolutely nothing that you can offer to these people of this country. Nothing. Without identity politics and racial politics, there is nothing that Jacob Zuma can offer to us. After all, this is what he has been feeding South Africans for the past 9 years of his presidency. Identity politics and racial politics. Nothing else. Nothing else. We don't need Ramaphosa, we don't need Jacob Zuma. And to be fair, right now in South Africa, we need a younger president. We need a younger president, a president, who is going to say that, guys, we are so far behind. And as South Africa, we are supposed to be the leaders in Africa. We are supposed to show people how things are done in Africa. Right now, we are supposed to be having our own cell phones. South Africa was supposed to be having its own cars. We were supposed to be heavy on industrialization. These are the things that we need a president to advocate for. We don't need a president who's gonna whine and complain about white monopoly capital at every single chance he gets. We need a president who's gonna say that, guys, we are far behind, and in Africa, people are looking at us. We are supposed to show these people how things are done. You look at Nigeria, they already have their own cell phones. You look at other countries, they already have their own cars, but South Africa is behind, and we were supposed to be the leaders. We are supposed to have our own cars. We are supposed to have our own cell phones. We are supposed to be making our own technological advances. Young people in this country were supposed to be changing their lives with this technology that they are given. We don't need the president who's gonna come and cry and complain just like Jacob Zuma. Jacob Zuma has been crying and complaining left, right, and center. Even right now, the man is the president of Umkhonto weSizwe. There is nothing that Jacob Zuma is doing. He is complaining left, right, and center. The ANC did not treat me right. The ANC is falling in the hands of white monopoly capital. Man, we don't need a president who's gonna do that. We need a president who is actually going to initiate the things that are going to make this country better. I agree with Mbuyiseni Ndlozi, man. I agree with Mbuyiseni Ndlozi, man. I've been saying this for the longest time, that, man, there is nothing that Jacob Zuma can offer to us. There is nothing that Jacob Zuma can offer to us, and especially young people who love Jacob Zuma with their hearts. What is it exactly do they think Jacob Zuma is going to offer to them? What do they think Jacob Zuma is going to offer to them that he failed to offer when he was the president of the country? For the past 9 years, Jacob Zuma is the president of the country. He failed to offer all of these things. What is it exactly do people think that Jacob Zuma is going to offer this time around? What is it? I completely agree with Mbuyiseni Ndlozi, man. I agree with Mbuyiseni Ndlozi. The only thing that is funny between Mbuyiseni Ndlozi, the EFF, and Jacob Zuma is that they failed to use Jacob Zuma's influence. Of course. That thing is funny, man. It's funny. Of course, that part is funny. But this part of Mbuyiseni Ndlozi is saying that there is nothing an 82-year-old can offer to us. I completely agree with him. I completely agree with him. Jacob Zuma needs to go home, man. This is what I've been saying. This is what I've been saying, man. That Jacob Zuma could have actually used his influence for better, man. Instead of entering the political arena again and to divide the people of this country again, he could have used his influence for the betterment of this country. But no, man, you know, his political wars are what matters to him. His political wars, man, are the most important thing to him right now. Him teaching the ANC a lesson, it's what's important to him. Him teaching Ramaphosa a lesson, this is what is important to Jacob Zuma. South Africa is not important to Jacob Zuma. He doesn't care. He simply wants Ramaphosa to lose the presidency. He doesn't care at what cost. He doesn't care at what cost. Because even if you bring Jacob Zuma again to be the president of the country, what can he do? What can he offer us that he failed to offer in the past 9 years? What can he offer? There is nothing that he can offer us. We need young presidents. We need presidents that are going to talk about blockchains. We need the presidents that are going to talk about nanotechnology. We need the presidents that are going to talk about, the things that are making the world movement. You see how behind we are, guys. We don't even have our own cell phones. I mean, guys, come on. We don't even have our own cell phones. The children in South Africa, man, they are not trending for actually taking advantage of this internet that we have been given, taking advantage of this technology that we have today. We are not trending because of that. We are trending because of nonsense. We need a president that is going to make young people aware that, guys, with this technology, with this internet, you can change your life. We need a president that is going to push those policies. We need a president that is going to push those policies. We don't need a president that is going to whine and cry about everything that has been done to him, because this is nothing. This is nothing. This is all we have been getting from Jacob Zuma. This is the only thing that we have been getting from Jacob Zuma. So on this point, man, I'm not gonna lie. I completely agree with Mbuyiseni Ndlozi. I agree with the commissar. There is nothing that Jacob Zuma can offer to South Africa. Nothing. Not like I don't like old people. It's not like I hate the seniors in this country, man. I don't hate the seniors of this country, man. I love the seniors in this country, man. And I think the seniors needs to be well taken care of. But at the same time, I need them to step aside a bit and to allow young people to get in. This is one thing that the ANC has actually been failing to do. Putting the grannies aside and allowing young people to get in. If the ANC was the political party that can actually transform itself, I think right now South Africa would be at a better position. If the ANC were to be brave enough to say that, okay, these grannies in parliament, they need to get out, we need to push young people in, I think maybe just maybe South Africa would have been in a better position if Ramaphosa had actually prioritized having young people in his cabinet. I think this country would have been in a better position, because having these crannies, there's nothing that we are benefiting from having these crannies. There is absolutely nothing we are benefiting from having these crannies. But I understand where Mbuyiseni is coming from, and right now Ndlozi is slapping the EFF on the by-elections, man. And I think the EFF is starting to realize that, okay, maybe these people are going to eat away at our support more than at the ANC. We actually thought that Ndlozi was going to destroy the ANC, but it looks like Ndlozi is trying to destroy the EFF. It looks like he's trying to destroy the EFF. So we are going to say what the South Africans have been saying for the longest time. That Jacob Zuma, man, like, hang your boots, man. You've made your own thing. Man. When you die right now, people are going to debate about your legacy. It doesn't matter what you do at this point, Jacob Zuma. It doesn't matter what Jacob Zuma does. When Jacob Zuma dies, people are going to debate about his legacy. Some people are going to say Jacob Zuma was a terrible person. Some people are going to say Jacob Zuma was an honorable person. Some people are going to say he was a terrible person. This is what you're going to get. It's not like you have any say of how people are going to react to your legacy. I know that maybe Jacob Zuma is trying to say, okay, maybe I can change my legacy. Maybe I can be the president of the country again and maybe finish off my term. But it's not going to help you in any way. Because right now we need a president who is going to prioritize South Africa. We need a president that is going to put South Africa ahead. We need a president that actually has plans for South Africa. And unfortunately, I don't think that Jacob Zuma has plans for South Africa, because if he had any plans for South Africa, all those plans would have been initiated when he was the president of the country. But he did not initiate any of those plans. So that's why I think that, man, there is nothing that you can offer to us. We gave you a chance and you offered us nothing. We gave you a chance, then you offered us nothing. So it's funny that the EFF failed to use Jacob Zuma, but at the same time, I do agree with the EFF, man. There is nothing that Jacob Zuma can offer to us. Guys, so please tell me what you think on the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button, and the most important part, subscribe. My name is Thomas Maba, so I will see you next time. Bye-bye.
The 360 experience with Thomas M.